other reactions to the situation of the United Healthcare worker, including one Richie Torres, who people may remember. Richie Torres is the conglomerate that ran against Jose Vega. Richie Torres is definitely a pay-to-play whore for the APEC lobby, for Ukraine, for the Democratic base, which is why he massively lies. He's just an absolute atrocity to the district in New York he represents, and that's why Jose Vega ran. And this is what he said about the situation. So Richie Torres says, the cold-blooded murder of the United Healthcare Worker CEO is not a cause for celebration or an opportunity to vent. So not only is he shutting down people who may or may not be celebrating the murder, again, regardless, that's not the point of it, but he's also slamming down on people that are openly stating how awful this private insurance is. And this is a Democrat, by the way, a Democrat whose whole entire political party used to run on healthcare. Back on the Obama years, he ran on healthcare. We were going to get Obamacare perfected. The ACA, everyone's going to buy into it. It's going to be wonderful. Everything's going to be so great. And that turned out to be just absolutely atrocious. So then Bernie Sanders came in. Hey, we need Medicare for all. AOC, I agree with that. Richie Torres, I agree with that. Every single Democrat contender that ran in 2020 had their own version of public health care. They were even mentioning public option. And now look at today. You have no health care whatsoever. And yet a top Democrat like Richie Torres, now's not the time. Now's not the time to vent about health care. Now's not the time. A man who's literally in part of the party that literally dangle a carrot in front of people's noses, promising health care. You wonder why the Democratic Party lost numerous times. It is barbarism for which there is no tolerance. Any civilization that celebrates cold-blooded murder is sowing the seeds of its own downfall. As he links to the picture of an article from the Intelligencer stating that the people cheering the United Healthcare CEO shooting, a cold-blooded murder has become to many an opportunity to vent. So Richie Torres said that, and then I responded saying, quite big morality talk from a stooge who gets paid by a cold-blooded mass murdering lobby group. Mossad and AIPAC won't be happy with your statements. The fact that you're openly stating that any civilization that is openly celebrating cold-blooded murder, mass murder, I don't think they're going to be happy with that. But, you know, it's different because, you know, Jew, anti-Semitic, don't question things. And so that was kind of the left-wing perspective with Richie Torres, even though Democrats aren't considered lefty, but that's kind of on that side of things. Here's Matt Walsh, his reaction to this. So Matt Walsh, he did a video, why the left is really celebrating the murder of a CEO. He did a podcast on his network here. And he tweeted out saying, the left is outright praising the first-degree murder of a health insurance CEO. Get this. Because he's a white male. This is Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh, who literally just moments ago got claim to fame when he did the documentary I'm Not Racist, pointing out and doing an expose on how people are race baiting each other. And now, here he is, doing that exact same thing to his own followers. It's not just the left that's angry. It's everybody that's angry at this healthcare CEO, this health insurance CEO. It's not even care, it's insurance. And they're not even insuring people. But here he is purposely race baiting, using the race card after he just made a movie, a documentary that I've seen clips of it. I've never seen the full thing, but it looks interesting. Exposing all this. Exposing how people use race baiting tactics as a political stunt. Now he is doing that to his own people. Because Matt Walsh is a grifter. Matt Walsh is purposely doing this as a grifter to cuddle up to the businesses, to the elites, to the establishment. They're scolding you. People like Richie Torres are telling you, hey, now is not the time to mention about healthcare. Now is not the time to vent about how you were denied by this son of a bitch. Now is not the time to talk about this. Well, when is the time? Because people have been demanding healthcare from the Democratic Party for the last couple decades now. And if you said now's not the time, then wasn't the time, when is the time? If he was the CEO of the same company but was a black woman, you would not be seeing any of the gloating and celebration. I hope everyone understands this basic point. You don't even understand your point. You don't even understand your point. First of all, there is a black man CEO. I forget which insurance agency, but there is a black man CEO on the list of the many people that have denied a majority of the population for their health care. And that's the basic point. That's why people are upset. And people like Matt Walsh don't even see that. They don't understand that basic point, but they're going to grift and use race-baiting tactics. The guy who pointed out race-baiting tactics in a documentary just moments ago, he's now going to use this to shame you. Because Matt Walsh is a grifter. Matt Walsh is a purposeful grifter to get clickbait and to get highlighted by the mainstream establishment that also has praises for the scumbag CEO. And here's some of the comment section of his own video. Even his own fan base disagree with him. So being pissed off at the healthcare system is not left-wing. It's not a left-wing thing. Everyone feels that. Call me a leftist then. It is not the left, my man. It's both sides. We're kind of sick of this S. More than just the left. So that's his own viewers. Their own viewers are even saying that this is not a left versus right issue. And anyone that makes it a left versus right issue is obviously grifting this story. They're not actually highlighting the basic point of that, the fact that so many people are gathering together and uniting on this story because insurance companies like United Healthcare have denied them claims so many times that they're not providing healthcare to people. And they're frustrated, they're angered, they're pissed off. Matt Walsh doesn't care. He's going to grift, he's going to do the grifting they just did. He just doesn't care. So here's Revolutionary Blackout Network to point out this. They state he's dead by a white man because he denied life-saving care to mostly white people, but conservatives want you to distract from the brutality of the for-profit care. 100 million diverse Americans hate this system. It's not the left celebrating. It's exploited labor with no options. And they also post underneath here, what's exactly the difference between you and an SJW lib, that's a social justice warrior liberal, that this guy used to point out, by the way. Matt Walsh did a documentary exposing them, which I also can't stand. But now he's become one. And Revolutionary Blackout Network says, you guys are two sides of the same coin. Nothing but identity politics pushers. That's exactly what he's doing. He is a grifter for identity politics because it formulates with his side. It formulates with his business. He's a contributor for the Daily Wire. And he is pushing for the business incentive of pushing down people, even his own audience, to grift in favor of the United Healthcare CEO. I don't know if there's maybe a business opportunity to coordinate with Daily Wire and this insurance company, but that's what they're doing. They're doing it for business purposes. They're doing it. They're exploiting their own audience, because even their own audience is against them. They're doing it purposely to grift this story in the direction in favor of the business. So here's Weasel Boy, Ben Shapiro, who looks like he woke up on the wrong side of his coffin this morning. Jeez. I've seen skeletons with more life to him than this. So he did a video on Daily Wire and says the evil revolutionary left cheers murder with an exclamation point. Guess how many people disliked it compared to likes? So likes, he got 5.8 thousand. Okay. 25,000 people disliked this video. So I figure at some point Ben Shapiro is going to put out a video saying that he agrees with the White House that we need to get rid of the dislike button on YouTube. Because right now, that's the two popular channels that have the most dislikes right now. Is the White House, anytime they have a press briefing with Biden, and people like Ben Shapiro. And maybe the girl that sings Friday, because that was the most hated song of all time. So here's the comments under his own video. Under the video that he says the revolutionary left is cheering on murder. His own audience is clapping back on this. They state, to claim it is not just the American left, has been cheering this on social media is delusional. I don't know why you're trying to keep pushing this as a left issue. It's clearly across the board. And look at the likes. 353 people like that. 455 people like the one above it. Sorry, Ben, lifelong conservative, and I don't have an ounce of sympathy for the CEO. How many Americans have died because of this company's greed? Healthcare shouldn't be, and then get caught up there. But 44 people like that. This isn't a party-based issue. This is a class-based issue. I don't like violence, but let's not pretend that the insurance companies have been committing systematic class violations. Who's going to tell Ben it's not just the left? Embarrassing yourself, put it on the left. Denied, depose, defend. We don't recognize him. Sorry, Ben, it's not just the left. It's not just the left, Ben. And that's from this guy, Jake Day. 652 likes. Compared to the 25,000 that disagree with Ben Shapiro. So these are grifters that are completely disconnected with even their own audience on this issue. And so much so that another guy under the comments here puts it perfectly by saying, I just realized your entire business model, meaning Daily Wire, your entire business model requires that us normal folk hate each other. And that's exactly what these channels are doing. What Daily Wire, what the TYT gang are doing. And when they get infiltrated by these investors, whether it be Republican or Democrat, the reason they get cultivized into this investment fund, into the business practices, and they shift their gears to shill for one side of the aisle and demonize the other. So Ben Shapiro, because he's getting investments from conservative groups and conservative think tanks and the Mossad and Israel, which I find hilarious because Israel has basic health care. And since he loves Israel so much, I think that would kind of go, back and forth, right? That would go hand in hand. If you love Israel so much, shouldn't we be also getting the health care that we paid for them over there? But because they're getting funding by political backers to shift their channel towards a certain direction, they're going to be grifters and demonize their own audience just in support of this political action. So Ben Shapiro is always going to grift to the right. TYT is always going to grift to the left. They're always going to side towards the establishment and go after their own audience, even though their own audience is correct in stating how much of a grifter, how much their business model completely deteriorizes the important value of this is the fact that everybody's coming together in solidarity. It's a class solidarity on their hatred of the private healthcare system that's screwing over a majority of the population. And that's why a majority of the population supports measures like Medicare for all. And that's even conservatives, that's even Republicans, that's even libertarians going outside Medicare for all. Because they know that this business practice is absolute atrocity to so many people. So, and here's an example of this. This is from ProPublica, where they did an article here stating that this guy is a representative of United Healthcare, tried to deny coverage to a chronically ill patient. He fought back, exposing the insurance inner workings. Now, it's a fairly lengthy article. I didn't have enough time to actually get all of the article, but I want to highlight this point here. So this is a phone call that was recorded, and it was added on to the ProPublica article on that. And
bother you.
this phone call here says United Healthcare employees discuss the denial of Christopher McNaughn's claim. David Opperman is an insurance broker who works for United Healthcare. Victoria Kavanagh is a nurse for United. In this recorded phone call from 2021, the two expressed relief that a doctor has turned down Penn State student Christopher McNaughton's claim as not medically necessary. And the reason why this phone call is so important and why I want to get this in is the fact that you can hear in the background the David Opperman, the insurance broker, laughing hysterically at denying this person's health care. And this shows how sinister these people are, and their practices are absolutely heinous. So listen to this.
I have some updated news for you, though.
Okay.
We did get the medical review back from the gastroenterologist, and he states that it's not medically necessary treatment. Yeah.
I knew that was coming.
I did too, but I thought maybe they saw something I didn't because I'm not a doctor. So, you know.
So, you know, you're just going to, die, you know, because it's not necessary according to our standards. Again, who are you going to believe? The doctor that's actually treating you, who's actually seeing up front the situation and what you need desperately? Or the scumbags behind closed doors at their cubicles laughing your death, laughing your potential death, that this surgery was necessary for him to live. And this is why so many people are dying in the streets of America because of stuff like this that gets underreported, that doesn't get investigated, and doesn't get expressed at all. Why? Because these private institutions keep collecting the business incentive of denying claims, and then they use that to buy out the media. Just like how pharmaceuticals do the exact same thing. Just like how big agriculture does the same thing. Big sugar does it to food. So you're never actually going to hear the woes and sympathy of and the people that have to deal with this every single day, every single time they get ill or go to the hospital. And they diabolically, the guy was laughing. The guy was laughing hysterically at the fact, how easy it was to just turn him down. Well, it wasn't in our guidelines. I'm sorry. Are you my doctor? Are you treating me right now? Do you see what's happening in front of you? Being denied over a phone call. And these are people that spend an extortionate amount of money being denied their basic claims. And they do it purposely. They have lawyers. They trick you. They use fancy buzzwords. They try to do legal loopholes. It's not medically necessary, even though your doctor recommends it. Your nurse practitioner recommends it. The people at the hospital recommends it. They know that you need it, but they'll never, ever pay for it. And that's why they get millions and billions of dollars off of your backs, playing you like suckers, gambling with your life, hoping that you'll just live, hoping you'll survive this. And so many of these people die off to the smoke. in the fact that these scumbags who provide you health care are denying you health care. That's the basic point. Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Richie Torres. That's why many people on the left and the right, because everyone gets sick, everyone has, at some point they have an illness and they have to go through this, and they know the struggles of dealing with private insurers, which is why everyone kind of agrees at this point. There's a majority consensus of why we need basic coverage. That's where Medicare for All comes in. And if you want a more gold-plated, insurance plan and you have the money to do so, then by all means, you can partner up with United Healthcare. By all means, you can buy into Blue Cross Blue Shield. But denying the basic essentials, the basic, is just downright evil. And the fact that this guy's laughing at it is downright diabolical. This is villainy. This is cartoonish villainy. That he's laughing over the phone that you will not get necessary surgery. Because, in our books, you don't need it. Even though it's your money that went towards this insurance company, they're telling you that, we could probably cover it, and then deny you instantly. This is the heinous practice that so many people are frustrated with, and I feel their frustration.